Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next half an hour. Iran President Pezeshkian says some countries have begun mediation efforts to end the war, says mediation should address those who ignited the war. Balendra Shah's RSP heading towards landslide victory in Nepal election, leads in 102 seats. And India's minister assures to use every policy tool to support the exporters. Piyush Goyal says interministerial group is in constant touch. Good evening to all the viewers joining us at this evening broadcast. To begin with the latest. In a fresh development, amid the ongoing conflict in West Asia, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said on Friday that some countries have begun mediation efforts to end the West Asian conflict involving United States and Israel. In a social media post, President Pezeshkian said that Iran supports lasting regional peace but will firmly defend its sovereignty and national dignity. He also said, and I quote him here, mediation should address those who underestimated the Iranian people and ignited this conflict, unquote. Meanwhile, fresh strikes rocked Iran and Lebanon on Friday as Israel vowed to escalate to a new phase in the West Asia conflict that has spiraled rapidly throughout the region and beyond. The war, now entering its seventh day, has dragged in global powers, upended the world's energy and transport sectors, and brought chaos to even usually peaceful areas of the volatile region. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said Khyber missiles were fired towards Tel Aviv on Friday as part of its Operation True Promise 4. In a statement, the IRGC said the wave began with a combined missile and drone operation targeting sites in the heart of Tel Aviv. Powerful explosions shattered the skies above Iran's capital Tehran early on Friday as Israel said it was striking regime infrastructure in the city. Internet coverage is running at about 1% according to monitor group NetBlocks, limiting information about the impact of the war on ordinary Iranians. In Tehran, the war has emptied the usually traffic-jammed streets, but residents say security forces are keeping a tight grip on the population. The conflict has spilled across the Gulf. Kuwait confirmed 67 soldiers injured in Iran's retaliation campaign, which is the highest toll among the Gulf militaries. Bahrain reported Iranian strikes on a hotel and residential buildings in Manama, while Qatar said its air defenses thwarted a drone attack on the US base at Al Udeid. Saudi Arabia destroyed multiple drones and missiles near Riyadh, prompting Western embassies to shelter the staff. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held security consultations with top officials in Israel as the conflict involving Iran and Hezbollah continued to escalate, according to the footage released by Israel's government press office on Friday. The meeting included Defense Minister Israel Katz and Shin Bet chief David Zinni. Israel has continued strikes against Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon as part of the ongoing conflict, while missile barrages from Iran and Hezbollah have sent millions of Israelis into shelters. Apart from targeting the Gulf countries, Iran has been saying that it will attack any ship trying to pass through Strait of Hormuz, which is a critical waterway for about a fifth of the world's oil and gas. Reacting to which, Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, stated that Tehran's missile volume is declining and said that its ability to disrupt the Strait of Hormuz will be severely diminished within days.
We are advancing. It is only a matter of time before the rocket fire is minimized and their capabilities are dismantled. Every day, their capabilities shrink. every hour, we, together with the US, degrade, destroy, and dismantle their launch sites and stockpiles. The volume of missiles they are firing is already falling, and we are only 6 days in. They are getting weaker and weaker. Give us a few more days, it will be much, much harder for the Iranian to disrupt the vessels coming through the Strait of Hormuz.
United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk warned that large-scale evacuation orders issued by Israel for parts of Beirut and southern Lebanon raise serious concerns under international humanitarian law. The warning came after Israeli airstrikes targeted Hezbollah-controlled areas, and authorities ordered thousands of residents to leave, while Hezbollah urged Israelis near the border to evacuate.
The crisis sparked in the Middle East 1 week ago following US and Israeli attacks on Iran and Iran's counterattacks has been spreading like wildfire. It is causing significant damage in Iran, in Israel, and at least a dozen other countries, mostly in the Gulf, with risks of major economic and environmental ramifications across the world. The world urgently needs to see steps to contain and extinguish this blaze. But instead, we are only seeing more inflammatory, bellicose rhetoric, more bombings, more destruction, killings and escalation that fuels it further.
The United Nations expressed concerns over the global energy supply, describing the situation as very, very worried. UN spokesperson warned that rising energy prices are directly hindering UN operations and humanitarian aid.
We all know as soon as the price of energy, of oil, of fossil fuels go up, it has a direct impact on just about everything, including UN operations. And where this is happening in a world that is still, sadly, very much addicted to fossil fuels, and we live in an era where we live at the mercy of energy that is being extracted far from homes. If you live outside of the Gulf, which is creating all sorts of risks. So it's something he's very much aware of.
Now, 1 week into a war that started in Iran but affects the entire West Asia, there are still large numbers of business people in the area representing or working for companies from around the world. Their employers are currently working overtime to get them out. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Good evening, Lars. What are you hearing from those companies?
Mainly that there's really a lot of them. Globally operating banks, engineering companies, corporate consultants, lots of companies, including from Germany and other European countries, have representatives stationed in the Middle East. Many, of course, in Israel, but even more in the United Arab Emirates, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, some are in Qatar. So altogether, there's tens of thousands that are currently there, and the companies employing them are looking for ways to get them and often their families as well out of the dangerous zone. One company specializing in such global rescue operations said that they received 1,000 requests within 24 hours after the war started. Now, to compare that to previous events after Hamas' terror attack on Israel in 2023, there were around 1,000 requests over the course of several months. So this seems to be a volume those rescue specialists have never seen before. Well, not entirely surprising, as this now covers a larger area, of course, and including the Emirates, which have been seen as a tremendous growth opportunity for Western companies in many sectors.
So how are these rescue companies extracting all these business people, Lars?
The first question is actually at this point, can they even get them all out? We're hearing that some requests are just impossible to satisfy. One manager said that they were asked to evacuate a team of 80 people, quote, by tonight. And they said that's virtually impossible. Besides the fact that often only small groups can travel, anything you're trying to do in the region takes a lot of time right now, mostly because the airspace over much of the Middle East, including the Emirates, Qatar, parts of Saudi Arabia, and Oman, that airspace is still restricted. That means that most of the moving of people has to be done on land. And the most popular option for many caught there right now is a long drive to Muscat in Oman, which could be done in cars or small vans, depending on sheer availability. And from Oman, then, ideally, one could board a flight out of the Middle East to a safer location. Mostly that would be an airport in northern Africa, from where one could find other connections. However, traveling like this still means there's documents needed, not much luggage allowed, and there's always a risk involved too. And according to security experts, that risk is growing as the war goes on, as Iran is expected to retaliate asymmetrically, meaning, of course, they attack other countries like the Emirates.
All right. Thank you so much, Lars, for joining us and getting us the latest on this. Moving on. Sri Lanka Navy offloaded 208 crew members from a second Iranian vessel off the island's coast a day earlier, following a U.S. submarine strike on a first Iranian warship in the same region that left 87 people dead and several others missing. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake told a press briefing that the ship was near the port of Colombo in the country's exclusive economic zone, but outside its maritime boundary. The first ship, Iris Dena, was sunk on the 4th of March, 19 nautical miles off Sri Lanka's southern port city of Galle. Video and photographs released by the Sri Lankan Navy show the survivors being transferred from lifeboats onto the stretchers at Galle Naval Base before being taken to the hospital in ambulances. 32 sailors were rescued and are being treated at National Hospital in Galle. Moving on. Nepal's Rashtriya Swatantrata Party, led by Balendra Shah, is heading towards a landslide victory in the country's first general election since the youth-led protests. Vote counting is underway across Nepal, with trends showing a strong lead for the Rashtriya Swatantrata Party. By afternoon, the party, found by Rabi, was ahead in 102 constituencies. Balendra Shah, who's contesting from Chapa 5, is currently leading with 11,945 votes, far ahead of former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who's received 2,692 votes so far. Among other parties, Nepali Congress, led by Gagan Thapa, is leading in 11 constituencies, while CPN-UML, led by KP Sharma Oli, is ahead across 9 constituencies. Election officials say the final result for all 165 seats under the first-past-the-post system are expected by this evening. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world in brief. Britain's iconic dog show, Crufts, has kicked off in Birmingham, attracting a record number of overseas entries this year. More than 20,000 dogs from around the world are competing for coveted Best in Show title at the 4-day canine spectacle. Art and luxury auction house Christie's unveiled its redesigned auction rostrum, marking 260 years since the company was founded in 1766. The rostrum has witnessed historic sales, including Salvatore and the record-breaking Paul Allen collection. 2 pairs of giant panda twins born in 2023 have made their public debut at Xinling 4 Rare Animal Science Park in China. The playful cubs entertained the visitors with acrobatic moves and bamboo feasts, delighting crowds with their lively antics. Time for a short break, but still to come on the other side. Up next, we'll get you all the latest from the ongoing Raisina dialogue in New Delhi. And DD India got into an exclusive conversation with the President of Finland. More after the break.
You are the first Finnish president in 30 years to visit India. How did your talks with Prime Minister Modi go?
I found him very astute, intelligent, analytical. It was a very good conversation. I think if you're the Prime Minister of India, you've been elected 3 times, you're the head of government of the biggest democracy in the world. You can talk about a range of issues, from artificial intelligence to trade to geopolitics to conflicts to transatlantic relations and many other things.
Welcome back. After that short break, you're watching DD India Live. Now, Finland's President Alexander Stubb says he's had productive discussions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi. President Stubb, who is the first Finnish head of state in 30 years to visit India, spoke extensively about bilateral ties in an exclusive conversation with DD India. Take a listen.
I found him very astute, intelligent, analytical. It was a very good conversation. I think if you're the Prime Minister of India, you've been elected 3 times, you're the head of government of the biggest democracy in the world. You can talk about a range of issues, from artificial intelligence to trade to geopolitics to conflicts to transatlantic relations and many other things. So I really thoroughly enjoyed the 3 hours I had the opportunity and honor to spend with the Prime Minister of India.
President Stubb says AI and quantum computing is a key area of cooperation between Finland and India.
We have over 20,000 Indians in Finland, which for a small country is a big number. Most of them are basically engineers or tech nerds, as I say. It's a great addition to the Finnish population. I think we can work together on 3 accounts in tech. The first one is networks. Remember that in order for tech or AI to work, we need networks, and Nokia is one of the biggest in the world. It has about 50% of the 5G here in India. The second one is quantum. We have 2 companies that are top 10 in the world, and quantum is what's needed basically to feed AI. And then third, we have a really strong space/satellite sector.
And you can watch the full interview at 8:30 PM IST on DD India tonight. Moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today asserted that the era of big deals between dominant powers is over, stating that global multipolarity is now an irreversible reality rooted in shared historical experiences. Speaking at the Raisina Dialogue 2026 in capital New Delhi on Author's Corner, The Geometry of Power, Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that expecting the world to remain frozen in the realities of 1945 or even 1989 was unrealistic. He noted that power today has significantly spread across multiple dimensions, moving beyond the control of a few select powers.
This was the order by the West, for the West, from the West. Now, it doesn't mean that others didn't use it. Smart people did, smart countries did. But when we look back at these 70 years, I think the expectation that we can freeze a 1945 or a 1989 forever was a very unrealistic one.
Finnish President also spoke at the session, stressing that the ongoing conflicts show the urgent need for a new multilateral movement. He added that the cost of the current multipolar world is too high and nations must come together to forge a new covenant for peace and security.
We come to what is the call for peace and security. Well, we can see it right now, and this is what makes me so optimistic that we're going to have this new multilateral moment. And so I try to see the silver lining and say, well, because we're seeing what's going on in the Middle East, we're seeing what's going on in Ukraine, we're seeing what's going on in Sudan, therefore we need to come together to some kind of a new covenant, because actually the cost of multipolarity is too high right now.
Now, Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh Kumar Tripathi was also present at the Raisina dialogue, where he highlighted India's commitment to Atmanirbharta or self-reliance in defence sector while actively collaborating with partner nations.
We in India obviously believe in Atmanirbharta and self-reliance, as are many other countries, and we deal with many our partner nations to develop capabilities in the defense sector based on co-development and co-production. We, as a country, are fully aware as to how to work with many partners.
Adam Smith Panmure House is one of the major think tanks in Edinburgh, UK, working on global economy. DD India correspondent Akhilesh Suman talked exclusively to its director, Professor Adam Dixon, on what he thinks about India in the turbulent world. Take a listen.
Here with me is the director and chair of Adam Smith Panmure House, Mr. Adam Dixon. Professor Dixon, how do you see the position of India in this turbulent world?
So I think India has two, I would say, great qualities. One is that it's a liberal democracy, and the world needs more liberal democracies, all right? It also has a large, ambitious population. So the future of liberalism and liberal democracy globally will be contingent on India's success. But what's great about that, being a liberal country, is that you're naturally open, you're naturally willing to have conversations and dialogue with everyone. And that's what's great about India, is that you still want to be friends in a turbulent world.
The way India is following, autonomous foreign policy, like aligning with everyone. So in that way, how do you feel the success of India's foreign policy?
I think India's foreign policy of trying to not stick its head out too much and to be friends with many countries around the world, particularly in the global south or the BRICS, and maintaining dialogue is a successful foreign policy. But I think there is an important element where India does need to stand up and recognize that it is a liberal democracy, and its liberal history and values are important, and that's important to share those values and discuss those values with countries around the world that might not have that tradition, but there are people in countries around the world that value that. They value that openness, and they value the aspiration that comes through liberal democracy.
Thank you so much, Professor. So India, being the largest democracy in the world, is the largest strength of India, through which diplomacy can run for peace and stability in the world. Akhilesh Suman with camera person Sanjeev in Delhi from Raisina Dialogue Ground.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday addressed the post-budget webinar on the theme Agriculture and Rural Transformation via video conferencing. The webinar brought together stakeholders across key sectors including agriculture, animal husbandry and dairying, fisheries and rural livelihoods. Discussions focused on promoting high-value agriculture by unlocking the potential of crops such as cashew, coconut, sandalwood, agarwood, almonds, walnuts and pine nuts. It also deliberated on the opportunities offered by Bharat Vistar, the AI-powered digital public infrastructure for agriculture. Speaking during the webinar, Prime Minister focused on leveraging India's diverse agro-climatic zones to boost high-value agriculture with special emphasis on regional specific crops like coconut, cashew, cocoa and sandalwood.
हमारे पास डाइवर्स क्लाइमेट है, हमें इसका पूरा फायदा उठाना है। एग्रो क्लाइमेटिक जोन, उस विषय में हम बहुत समृद्ध हैं। इस साल का बजट इन सब बातों के लिए अनगिनत नए अवसर देने वाला बजट है। प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ाने की दिशा तय करता है और एक्सपोर्ट ट्रेंड को बढ़ावा देता है। बजट में हमने हाई वैल्यू एग्रीकल्चर पर फोकस किया है। नारियल, काजू, कोको, चंदन ऐसे उत्पादों के रीजनल स्पेसिफिक प्रमोशन की बात कही है। केरल के किसानों को अतिरिक्त लाभ हो, तमिलनाडु के किसानों को अतिरिक्त लाभ हो, इसलिए इस बार कोकोनट पर एक विशेष बल दिया गया है, जिसका फायदा आने वाले दिनों में हमारे इन किसानों को मिलेगा।
Residents of a village in Himachal Pradesh's Kullu district celebrated a unique traditional festival that blends folklore, ritual and vibrant performances. The annual Fagli festival was marked in Rumsu village of Kullu district, where artists wore colourful masks and costumes made of grass, performing traditional dances.
Rumsu village in the scenic Kullu district of Himachal Pradesh was transformed into a vibrant cultural spectacle on Thursday as artists donned masks and costumes made from grass to celebrate the annual Fagli festival. The festival is rooted in local folklore about the defeat of a demon believed to have once terrorized the region.
जो हमारा फागली जो फंक्शन है वो
Our Fagli festival is usually celebrated during the month of February and March. The reason for celebrating it is the link to the belief that the demon Tonya Rakshas and Timber Chachak come and join the divine household during the Fagli festivities. So to please and appease these spirits, the Fagli festival is observed. The Mukhota dance is especially dedicated to them.
का उत्सव मनाया जाता है। ये मुखौटा डांस स्पेशली उन्हीं को डेडिकेटेड है।
The Fagli festival commemorates the victory of good over evil, with villagers performing ritual celebrations to mark the return of harmony and prosperity. The festival also marks the end of winter in the region and the onset of the warmer spring season.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.